I finally read Outlander. If you don't know the general plot of Outlander, it's about a woman who lives in the 1940s who is on vacation with her husband in Scotland. She goes through some mystical rocks and ends up 200 years previous in the 1700s. And it's great. If you haven't read this though, I would give a warning. I would consider this to be a 17+ book. Everyone has their own rating scale, but I did get this from the adult section. It definitely requires a little more maturity than a regular YA novel, which is what I usually read. But I'd heard so many good things about it that I definitely wanted to read this. So if you haven't read the book, read it, come back and discuss, because I'm going to be spoiling a lot of things. You don't want to be spoiled. This review is going to be a little bit different because I took no notes. I was on vacation whilst reading and did not think about it, really. But we're gonna try. Let's start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. I already liked our main character, Claire, and I really liked her relationship with her husband. I already had kind of an idea of the premise, and I knew that she was gonna fall in love in the past. But I liked Frank going into it. I was like, there's nothing really wrong with him. I don't hate this dude. And I was kind of expecting that we wouldn't like her husband. We found the rocks, and I really liked when she and her husband were watching these women performing a ritual around the rocks. I didn't really think that much of it. And then later, when she went back and she like fell through, that was so cool. I really liked the way the plot went, I guess is the best way to say it. I just really liked how this was kind of a mythological thing that she ends up being a part of. Anyway, she's dropped in the middle of this war zone. She finds her husband's great-great-great-great-grandfather or whatever, and he's Captain Randall of the English Army. I thought it was just gonna be like weird that she would fall in love with him because relation. That obviously is not what happened, thank goodness. But she's like, this guy is scary and creepy and crazy, and he's like pinning her. And I was like, how are we gonna we just got here. I just was always really nervous when he was around, and I think he's crazy and evil, and that made me associate Frank a little bit with that. I think everyone who reads Outlander is gonna love Jamie, and they're gonna be like, Frank, ew. We get saved by someone who isn't Jamie. I was like, not really feeling it with this guy who rescued us. And then we come in and there's an injured man over by the door. I was like, she's nurse. This is our guy. This is him. Because I forgot his name. Because I had heard about it so long ago and I forgot the name Jamie. And so I was like, oh, well, this has to be our guy. And she fixes the shoulder. I was dying because everybody was like, what? She knows how to do this. I love being at the castle. My favorite scenes were the ones where Claire and Jamie were just talking and being adorable. Jamie is the cutest person ever. We have a lot of politics going on. I really, really liked reading about the clan politics, so how Jamie can't say that he's part of the Mackenzie clan because he poses a threat, like a very real threat to Colum and Douglas brothers. And like for being someone who's just so sweet and innocent, but he knows how to kill, and like he comes off with this strong presence. Everyone likes him. When he's in that, pledge your allegiance to Colum thing, he just handles it so smooth, it's almost scary. Like, just perfectly. He takes the beating for Lair, which I liked that scene because Jamie's just being so strong and nice. Don't like Lair. That girl. Claire and Jamie get married. It's sad because she doesn't really want to, but like she knows she likes him. This is obvious. But that's a really hard scene. And I have not watched the TV series yet. I plan to. But watching that scene, like I saw the scene of them getting married and doing the oath and like the rings and her trying to like say the words in the Gaelic language, and it's really hard to watch because she's just so like, oh, and because that was the church she married Frank in. Oh no! Despite the fact that I don't really care about Frank, I felt so bad for her because she just is having all these memories of like her actual husband and getting married to this other guy that she didn't wanna. And then they're just so cute. They spend like the whole night talking, and Jamie is just the most adorable person. When we learned that Jamie got flogged, this was like before they got married, but like we see all those scars on his back. That was so hard. That's like when I really solidified, and like I already hated Randall, but this is when I really solidified that hate, because Randall is a creep. He takes pleasure out of hurting people, and to see like his back, like mentally, and then later I saw it like on the interwebs of how they did the makeup. It's scary, and it just looks so painful. I was so mad at Randall. And Jamie thinks that the reason his dad died is because of him, even though he got whipped because he was trying to save his sister. Oh, it was just such a tragic story. Jamie has a price on his head because people think that he killed a man. I was kind of confused. A lot of people have killed other people in this culture. Maybe I just missed something, skipped over it, I don't know. But it didn't seem like it should have been like, the English are after you. Did he kill an Englishman? Well, he didn't, obviously, but he was framed for it. I can't remember. I'm just gonna skip ahead to the part in the prison because I loved seeing Claire like just become this warrior. She goes in and she's got a plan, and oh, it's so bad, to talk to the guard, and they're like, yeah, Jamie is like scheduled to be executed tomorrow. She's trying to find him. She finds traces of his blood. They're like following, and they find him at this prison. Dougal wasn't even gonna help. I know that it was convenient for Dougal because he wanted to marry Claire and he didn't want this threat to his leadership or whatever. But then all these other guys help, and we're ready to like storm the castle basically. And Claire gets in there and we find Jamie. Oh my gosh. That was one thing, like, you notice the differences between a young adult and an adult book, but the gore. And also because she is a nurse, so like we hear in great detail like all the things that are wrong with him. His hand, oh my gosh, and Randall, oh, I was just so emotionally invested in this book. I was so angry. I wanted Jamie out of there right now. And Jamie just is so sweet, but like he's basically ready to die. He's just done. Like he's in so much pain and it's really hard to watch. And Randall comes in when Claire's in there and he's gonna like kill her. It's just, there was a lot going on. And when she gets kicked out, the wolf pack, that was an intense scene. She's like getting ready, like remembering all this stuff that she's learned, and she's getting ready to fight off a wolf pack. That's intense. And I really loved seeing her, like just her viciousness, because it's out of love. Like she just loves Jamie that much that she's ready to go to battle. And I loved, despite the scariness, I love that scene. I love that Murtka, he had stolen all the cows of Nick Cannon or something like that. And they're like, let's make a compromise. Let's put all the cows in the prison. And they end up getting all the prisoners out. We get Jamie out. And he is nearing death. And that when they're up on the slope, when they're leaving the cannons, I can't remember his name, his house, go to the sanctuary, he's like dripping blood on the snow. And then Claire has to kill someone because one of the guys got away, and she turns him up and realizes, like, this is a 16-year-old boy. And she just, like, that was a really hard moment to see her deal with because it's either this kid or her husband, basically. So she has to kill him. And Jamie is, he like looks like he's not gonna make it, which is really scary. We were in the sanctuary like taking care of him. That horrible moment where Jamie is like, I can't think of you without thinking of Randall. That's a really rough scene to like see because they have gone through all this trouble and they've loved each other so much, and now Jamie's like, you can't even touch me, like I can't do this. And he wants her to go back to Frank. Sorry, I'm gonna jump around here. The first time when he had taken her up, like she had told him about that she's like from the future, basically. And he's like, it would have been easier if you were a witch. That cracked me up. And then he takes her to the stones and he's like saying goodbye. He's like, I'm gonna be down in that house to make sure you're safe. And he's like, go back to Frank, it's where you belong. There's nothing here except for danger and violence. I was like, but you're here. And that's what Jamie's thinking too. And he, like later, Claire chose him. I was so happy. And she like runs back down there and she's like, I choose you. And Jamie is so happy. He's like, it took all my strength not to like get on my knees and beg for you to stay. And they're just so cute. Oh my gosh. Can't get over it. Oh, and we also find out about the woman who really kind of was a witch practicing. She did all the different things. But like she got killed because she really did like take it for Claire. She like to distract. She's like, she's not a witch, I am. And she knew they was gonna kill him. And later she had sent a message to Claire in 1967. They couldn't even risk like it sounding like a year. Douglas like, do those numbers mean anything? And Claire says no, but like yes they do. The witch was even later than her. in like the span of time. That was so cool. I did not think we were going to meet someone else, and I did not suspect it at all. I didn't realize until they had that moment where Claire was like, that's a chickenpox vaccine. And just... Oh, and I love the scene where they're in the barn and Jamie's talking to his little cousin. Oh, it's so cute. And Claire's like up there listening to him, giving like romance advice. It is so cute. And they're like both trying not to laugh. Anyway, back to the sanctuary. Way off topic. Jamie is not really showing signs of getting better. He's just kind of, at this point, he wants to die. He's like begging Claire and she won't let him. And like eventually he's slowly starting to get better and we see him being stubborn again. And that was just really fun because we've seen, when we saw Jamie and his sister being like stubborn back and forth, I was dying. Like, so funny. Because it's such a brother-sister relationship and it was cracking me up. But anyways, his stubbornness comes back and Claire gets like really mad, but like she closes the door and like he had just thrown something at the door because he's like, let me eat. The priests are like, well, it sounds like he's feeling better. And she's like, yeah, he is. He's so mad right now. When he gets better, I'm just so happy. And he's been able to like, Claire is Claire again for him. And there's not bad, like he still struggles with like nightmares, but there's not bad memories the way they were anymore. They're gonna leave the sanctuary. They have to, obviously. Don't know where they're going. As far as I remember, they were still contemplating where they're gonna go. And Claire has this is a big question. Like, she's wondering, I'm from the future and I know certain things are gonna happen. Is it my obligation to stop them, or is it my obligation to let them happen? I really loved her conversations with the one priest that had kind of like befriended her. She is just very confused about faith and what she should do, and I loved those conversations. And the way she just like had to think about it. That'll be really interesting to see if Claire ends up intervening in certain types of wars or how that goes on, because I'm not sure exactly how she'd do it, but there's a lot of things she could stop if people listen to her. That's the thing, everybody's gonna think she's a witch. I'm not exactly sure how we're gonna do that. End of the book. Is Claire pregnant? It sounded like she was because she like touched her stomach or whatever, and there was this whole thing like she was saying that she can't get pregnant. But I'd love to see them have a kid. Like, that'd be so cute. Also dangerous. They live very dangerous lives. Sorry for skipping around a lot. I really should have taken notes. But yeah, if I forgot anything, drop down your favorite parts in the comments so I can kind of relive them. Give it 5 out of 5 stars. I am usually not one for historical fiction, but I really enjoyed this. I was completely sucked in, like reading hundreds of pages in a sitting at one time. And it was so good. I just got completely swept up in this world and I really loved it. I can't wait to watch the TV show. Got the next one here. I'm ready to see what happens. Alright, that's all I really got for my scatterbrained Outlander book review. My name's Caitlin. Thanks for watching. Bye!